road felt endless that night. It was a little after 3 a.m. when I was somewhere on Interstate 80 between Nebraska and Wyoming. The kind of stretch where the darkness seems to swallow everything beyond your headlights. No towns, no traffic, just miles of black highway disappearing into the night. The tires hummed against the pavement in a steady rhythm. The white lane markers flashed by, one after another. And after hours behind the wheel, that rhythm started doing strange things to my mind. Every trucker knows the feeling. You stare at the road so long that everything begins to blur together. The highway becomes a tunnel. Your thoughts drift. Minutes disappear. Sometimes you can't even remember the last 10 miles you've driven. That's what they call highway hypnosis. And according to some truckers, that's exactly when the black dog appears. I had heard stories about it before. Not from internet forums or ghost hunting shows. From real drivers. The kind of men who had spent decades crossing the country. The first time I heard about it was during a fuel stop outside Cheyenne. An older driver named Hank mentioned it while we were drinking coffee. The black dog ain't a ghost story, he said quietly. It's a warning. I laughed. He didn't. If you ever see it, he continued, pull over and rest. Because something bad is coming. At the time, I figured he was talking about exhaustion. Now, alone on that dark highway, his words came back to me. I rubbed my eyes and adjusted my grip on the steering wheel. That's when I noticed movement beside the truck. At first, I thought it was a coyote. Then I looked again. A large black dog was running alongside my cab. My stomach dropped. I was traveling at 75 miles per hour. The dog shouldn't have been able to keep up. But it did. Perfectly. It wasn't falling behind. It wasn't moving ahead. It stayed directly beside my driver's door, as if it were attached to the truck. I stared for several seconds, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. The dog turned its head. 2 red eyes looked directly at me. Not bright red like a warning light. Not glowing like something from a horror movie. Just an unnatural deep red that seemed to catch every bit of light. A chill ran through me. I looked toward the side mirror. The eyes were still there. Watching. Following. For a moment, I convinced myself I was imagining it. Maybe I was tired. Maybe my brain was filling in details that weren't there. Then we passed beneath a highway light, and something immediately felt wrong. The light illuminated the road. It illuminated my truck. But beneath the animal, there was nothing. No shape, no outline, nothing at all. I felt a knot tighten in my chest. Every story I'd ever heard about the black dog suddenly felt real. Truckers have been talking about it for generations. The old stories described it as a sign of danger. If you saw the dog, an accident wasn't far away. For years, most people dismissed those stories as the result of fatigue. Maybe they were right. But there were details that never made sense. There had been crashes on I-80 where drivers suddenly swerved for no obvious reason. Some dashcam footage showed steering corrections that investigators couldn't explain. Younger drivers started posting strange experiences online. GPS screens freezing, CB radios filling with static, audio cutting in and out, all happening around the same time the dog appeared. Some stories were easy to dismiss. Others weren't. There were reports involving multiple people inside the same truck. A driver and passenger both seeing the dog. Entire crews describing the exact same thing. And nearly every story ended with some kind of disaster. A mechanical failure, a close call, or something much worse. The dog stayed beside me, never speeding up, never slowing down, just watching. Then I remembered another story. A driver in 2025 reportedly saw the black dog outside Laramie. He ignored it and kept going. Hours later, mechanics discovered severe damage to his brake system during an inspection. Had he continued much farther, he could have lost control completely. Whether the story was true or not didn't matter at that moment, because fear was beginning to creep into my thoughts.
I checked the clock. 3:17 a.m. My eyes felt heavy. My shoulders ached. The dog seemed closer than before. The feeling was impossible to describe. It wasn't like being chased. It felt like being studied. As if the creature knew exactly how tired I was. As if it was waiting for me to make a mistake. I remembered another warning truckers often shared. Never stare into its eyes. Never acknowledge it. And if you see it, find a safe place to stop and rest. I kept my attention on the road. The dog remained in my peripheral vision.
Minutes passed. Then suddenly, my collision warning system erupted. Alarms filled the cab. A flashing red symbol appeared on the dashboard. I jerked upright and slammed the brakes. Ahead, partially hidden around a curve, sat a disabled pickup truck, blocking part of the lane. My heart nearly stopped. I had been seconds away from hitting it. The truck slowed to a halt. I sat there gripping the steering wheel while my breathing slowly returned to normal. Then I looked toward the driver's window. The dog was gone. Just darkness. Nothing else. Maybe it was exhaustion.
Maybe it was a trick of the mind. Or maybe some legends survive because there's truth buried somewhere inside them. All I know is this. Every trucker who spends enough time on I-80 eventually hears about the black dog. Most laugh it off. I used to be one of them. But if you're ever driving that lonely stretch of highway in the middle of the night, fighting to keep your eyes open, and you notice a dark shape keeping pace beside your vehicle, don't ignore it. And whatever you do, don't look directly into its eyes.